The question is that the motion be agreed to. The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, that just proves that it didn't work. So the Leader of the Opposition flew off to Canada to get advice from the second most positive politician in the world after John Key. And he said, Mr. Little, be positive. Now, he got off the plane and I thought, OK, I'm sceptical, but I'll be positive. This might work. But as the days have gone on, including today, it turns out some things just can't happen. The opposition being positive, well, it's like Andrew Little looking happy. Just can't happen. Grant Robertson looking industrious. Just can't happen. The Labor Party coming up with a progressive idea. Just can't happen. New Zealand First acting rationally. Just can't happen. So, Mr. Speaker, the trip to Canada was a waste of time, and it shouldn't have been, because there is so much to be positive about. So much. It's overwhelming, actually, with respect to the economy. Overwhelming amount of evidence that the economy is progressing positively and delivering consistent and moderate benefits to New Zealand households. The growth rate is pretty good, third or fourth top in the OECD, unemployment around 5%, government books stable and in surplus, employment growth stronger than it's been for a while, a big turnaround in the number of New Zealanders leaving this country, thousands of them staying home when they were leaving, in their thousands just a few years ago. Even the dairy industry, commodity prices picking up. But of course, from the opposition's point of view, this is not how it was meant to be. We had the manufacturing crisis, the cost of living crisis, the jobs crisis, the post-earthquake crisis, when the economy was meant to fall in a hole after the earthquake. But my favourite is the dairy crisis, because we've had two crises with the dairy industry. One, first, that it was going too well, and then that it was going badly, and they were both a crisis. And of course, what we know in this House is that as soon as the opposition says it's a crisis, it starts going really well. That's what happens every time. So, Mr. Speaker, what did they do to be positive? Well, Grant Robertson and Andrew Little both stuck to their jobs. Andrew Little went through every poll he could to try and find the negative one, and he did, on his desk, the poll he'd done himself. So, Mr. Speaker, that was the end of being positive about government in New Zealand. And Grant Robertson, surprisingly, I have to say, and I'm positive about this, went through 22 pages of economic data. Now, that's more than probably this week than in the previous number of years he's been the spokesman. 22 pages, and found a negative number. 1/4 of real disposable income after tax for 1/4, and said that's negative. So, Mr. Speaker, if Justin Trudeau was ever interested in whether anyone ever listened to him, then he should ask the New Zealand Labor Party, because they didn't. And that is Labor's problem. They are fundamentally out of kilter with the aspiration and confidence of New Zealand. They're running the best arguments out of 1996 about the economy. But it's changed. It's better. It's different. It's strong. It's forward-looking. It's aspirational. It's delivering the ability to solve a whole range of problems, from treaty settlements through to how do we get more effective public services. So, Mr. Speaker, Labor's positive phase is over. It lasted from the door of the airplane to when he got through customs, and then it was it. And now it's back to the same old grinding negativity, although you must say the Leader of the Opposition is well adapted to that task, and I'm sure he's going to stick to it.